But you do exist.
Yeah, I do exist. I'm here, I promise. Well, if you can't hear me, I guess you can't hear any of this. But I'm going to be painting on the turtle that you're looking at right now. The lovely Miss Jackie is going to be getting all the feeds ready. You'll see me in just a second.
Will you?
I'm being coy. Now, I'm over here by the computer getting it all started. We're our usual professional self tonight.
Yes.
Our high quality is up to par. But here we go, guys. We're going to be starting in just a second. My computer's reading all the stuff to me now, making sure it's good. Okay.
Hey.
If I sound far away, it's because I'm really going to be over there working on the turtle, and
the mic's over there.
Yeah, the mic's over there. So sorry, guys. But I'm glad to be here, and Jackie is getting the stream started.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see underneath us, we're working on how to make art prints. That's what we're going to be talking about. But I'm going to head over to the turtle so you can hear me a little better. I'll be right there.
You're so quick. It's like you were never gone.
Hey guys. Oh, did that roll away? Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? Tonight it's a viewer requested thing. We've had a lot of people ask us about how to make art prints, and it's a really important thing too. Here, I'm gonna turn this just a little bit because I'm gonna. Oh wait, is that okay?
Yeah, you look good.
Cool.
You look good.
Well, cool. Because I was like, I'm gonna roll out. Well,
I'm gonna roll out.
I'm gonna roll out of here. So tonight it's actually I'm working on the turtle, by the way. So that's pretty cool. We did a mural over the weekend, which was really exciting. We got to work with a bunch of other artists and some really great people. So we have some stories to tell you about that. But a lot of people have been asking us, how do you make art prints? And that's actually a super important thing because it really, really helps artists be able to make that a full-time job. It's like if you're a musician, if you write a banging song, something that's just awesome, but you can only sing it once, or you can just sing it live, and you can never sell any records, you can't ever sell any part of it, then you've got to write. Being a full-time musician would be even harder than it is. Well, it's the same way in the art world. If you have a painting that people like, if you can only sell it one time, then it makes it really, really hard to make art your full-time gig. But if you can sell art prints of it, then not only can you make more off of that, which is awfully nice, but even more importantly, and as an artist, one of your main goals, usually, it isn't about the money, it's about connecting and communicating. I have never really met an artist that ever said they got into art because they wanted to be a billionaire. It wasn't like I'm going to do this to be rich. And
maybe Jeff Koons.
Yeah, maybe there's probably some out there, but usually you do it because you're obsessed with it, and that's really what you want to do. And your favorite thing is being able to connect with people and be able to get your art out there, your message out there, and whatever it is you want to talk about. Well, prints are a really great way to do that. Plus, they help you to subsidize your whole career. It helps you be able to make more money off the things that you produce, which helps you be able to produce more things. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Speaking of, connecting with people, Brooke has joined us. She says, "Wee," literally. I assume because you're, spinning around over there.
Yeah, I'll tell you. And I'm trying to spin too much because it's a creaky chair and
yes,
it's like it's haunted. But hey, yeah. Brooke, thank you so much. Hey, and by the way, thanks so much for coming out to the mural. That was so awesome. It was hot out there.
It was super hot. I genuinely appreciate the drinks because she was taking care. She was like, I'm on it.
Yeah, that's
asking to help constantly. Appreciate that. It's chaos.
That's Brooke for you. She's awesome. But
always.
And I really appreciate that. And man, it was so hot. It was hot. Like we started the whole thing like Thursday night, and then I painted Friday, Saturday, and then a little bit on Sunday, and then our air conditioning in our house went out. So So it was really, and this is the hottest weekend in Texas this year, I think, so far.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, so like
it only gets hotter.
Yeah, it was like 95, but the humidity made it feel like it was 10 degrees warmer. So you were just out there, and by Sunday we were having the best time. But it was just like, oh my gosh, my head, like it just started hurting, and Jackie's.
Yeah, the heat, it'll get to you. It'll sneak up on you.
It did. But you know, it's funny, we're having such a great time that didn't diminish any of it. But it probably shortened the time that we were out there.
Yeah. Well, I should say Fred has joined us and says, howdy, howdy.
Howdy, Fred.
Thanks for joining. You know, it's funny with the heat because it's like, I'm okay with the heat. Like, John likes things like an igloo. I actually could be warmer. But I realize that it's in these extremes that you really find yourself. And I realize that I don't mind the warmth with the opportunity to go cool off. So it's like the house was so hot, and even at night in bed it was like everything's sticky. There's no moment to like really cool off. So I think that was where I was like, oh, it's nice. AC is like probably number 1, 2 on the invention list for me at this point.
Gosh, I as a kid the heat didn't bother me at all. I'd run around and you'd get really hot and you'd cool off or whatever, but then, like, when I was a late teenager, I had a minor heat stroke, and ever since then, air conditioning's been my best friend. I don't mind getting hot. Like, I'll get out and I'll get really, really hot, but I need to cool off a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You got to be able to, like,
made a change.
Bring your body back to normal temperatures.
Yeah. And it wasn't even a big thing or anything, but gosh, but here in the studio though, so I don't know if you know. Well, if you were here for the start, you probably see a TV behind me. The studio still has air conditioning while the rest of the house lost it, and so we piled in here. Well, you didn't really.
I didn't sleep in here that night, but you and Jack, yeah. So John and Jack came in here and set up a pallet, and both of them slept in here, which again, you guys deal better in like having some AC, and I can manage. So, and
I had the AC on, and I had my shop fan because we're in the studio.
Yeah.
I had my shop fan pointed right at my face.
Yeah. Well, and I can't.
I was like an igloo.
And my deal is that I can't sleep on a super hard surface, or it's like, I don't know if this is like showing age or what, but my hips will start to kill me if I'm laying on a hard surface to sleep. So I was like, I'm gonna just kick the sheets off the bed, and I'm gonna bear it. It wasn't actually that bad. So I mean, your fan in the bedroom is like full blast, and so it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, and it's all working out. And I think the air conditioning is not going to be as a guy came out, and I won't say who or whatever, but he looked at it for a minute, and then he was like, "Oh, you got to replace the entire thing. It's really old. Like our system's like
17 years old."
Yeah, so it's old, and but I think it's just a motor on a fan outside is all it is. Like when he left, it started working great, and because I think he spun the fan up, so it's just like this little motor on the fan that's outside, and we've had that replaced before, and but it was so long ago I don't even remember. I hardly remembered it, and then so today it was really hot again, and it's just like it won't start the fan. So if you go in, I don't know.
You gotta go wind it like a propeller plane.
Yeah. You gotta start it like it's a Model T. But
slowly, everything in our house is like just to the point where you have to do a little bit to get it working again.
It's called character. Our house has got character.
It's character.
But
you have to like take the lid off the toilet. There's everything in the house.
So he quoted us like $12,500. I think it's going to be hundreds of dollars.
And I blacked out. I literally when I don't even remember that connection of the money. Like he mentioned something about $3,500 compressor. I was like, I'm on board. I can do this. And then the whole like $8,500 to $1,200. I think my brain was like, nope. Because that's highway robbery.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
When he stepped out for a minute, and I was saying like, wow, it's going to be that much. It's going to be like $12,000. You're like. What are you talking about?
No.
So when he came back in,
no, it's $3,500.
You were like, hold it, I want to clarify what's going on. But I don't know. I think we might be able to get out cheaper. If not, that's just the way it is. It's a really old unit, so we knew that we're probably gonna have to replace it. But it does work really, really well though until it stopped working.
Until it stops. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll
it's life in Texas. But you've got to have it and.
I mean that's the thing that got a little under my skin was like you can't not have AC in Texas. In 12,000 through. I mean, I can't. Anyway, so
we'll see. It's one of those things. It's like,
yeah.
you know.
So anyway, this last weekend was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
you ate your face.
I did. I ate my face today. You know what? I recommend it. I am delicious.
Are you?
Boy,
I didn't have any of it.
Yeah. Christine and the Greater Dense Art Council, which she's a part of, and she like they were so great. They're part of the mural project. Working with Lone Star Attitude, where the murals went at, and they made a cake had all the artists' faces on it, and she was so sweet because she gave us all like our face. And I asked Jack, our son, is like, hey, do you want to eat my face? I was thinking, this is like the perfect thing for a teenager.
Yeah,
you want to get back with your parents?
You can
stab. Yeah, you can go after it.
But no, he didn't care.
He was like, nah. So I eat it, and
this
I'm glad
is two
I did.
extremes of teenage. It's either stab or I don't care.
Yeah,
and he's the I don't care. So
I felt a bit like a cannibal. I was thinking like, good grief, I'm glad I don't have cloning capabilities. I would be making more of me and just eating myself.
Yeah.
Ooh, one more ribs. Like,
oh my gosh.
No, that's
but it was
that went dark
fun.
quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
But yeah. So Greater Denton Arts Council was awesome. They had a panel discussion on Thursday, and that was really great because it was all six. Well, it was 5 of the 6 artists, and you guys all talked about what inspires you and working on this project. So that was really nice to hear what everybody, because you guys and for anybody that didn't see, if you backtrack through the hashtags and the social medias of LSA and John's page, you can see basically all the artists' art, and it was so cool this year. It was, I think, better than the last because everything felt a little bit more realized, cohesive, and colorful. And I was talking to Chelsea, one of the other artists, about this, and she mentioned this first. She was like, I think everybody's coming out of COVID, and they're just like vomiting color and expression. So it was like every mural was fantastic and looked like they went together. So kudos to you guys for that. It was great to see it come together.
Oh, thanks. I enjoyed working on it, especially with you up there and pitching in and everything, man. And it was really cool. And the other artists, I mean, it was Selena and Stephanie, Chelsea, Dan, with me, Michael. Who am I forgetting?
Let's see. Selena, Stephanie, Chelsea, Dan, you, and Michael.
Oh yeah, that's all. Okay,
that's
cool. Yeah, man, everybody was so friendly, and just, and those murals are going to be up for a year. So if anybody is in Denton, Texas, go by LSA, Lone Star Attitude. It's on the square, and it's a great place to go to. But if you go upstairs on the rooftop, that's where the 6 murals are. They change them every year, and this is the 2nd year that I've done it. And
so, and basically John did, and I'll hold it because I actually have the image.
Oh, you do?
John did this painting as the mural. Now, I will say, if you go to the Instagram or the Facebooks and you look at it, it's obviously a little bit different because this was the canvas painting, and then the mural is going to take on its own characteristics. And the mural is really cool because the space was bigger than the canvas. It actually looks like her afro is kind of like vibrating with intensity. It's really cool. So I dug that.
It's different when you're working maybe 2 feet tall, and then if you're going 11 feet tall, and you're painting on bricks and stuff. So so the brush strokes need to be a little bit different. But that's cool though. I mean, you don't want it to be, I don't know, the exact same.
Yeah.
But people often ask me if I remember my paintings and all, and I do.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's
pretty close. I think.
Kind of, well, and especially the last year with the pug and the hamburger, it was like spot on. It was spot on. So I mean, I could not do that.
Oh,
if anything I created, I would not remember where I put the purples or anything like that.
One thing that helps is that it was based on Stockton Helbing, which was a jazz musician from University of North Texas. And all the color from the painting comes from his music. And we did a talk with the Amon Carter Museum in Fort Worth, and it was his music. The Amon Carter wanted to talk about music and art, and because I use music and art all the time, they wanted me to talk about the art. And then they invited Stockton to talk about the music because that's what he does. He's a composer and a musician. So we both talked about what we did, and I did a painting using his music because it's beautiful. And so yeah, if you ever go up to LSA, listen to the music and look at the art.
Look at the art.
But yeah, I'm working on a turtle now, and
I,
this looks similar. It's because you probably saw me work on the other side of the face.
and it looks like so good. And I will say that you can't, because the lights kind of blow it out. It's the overhead lights on the ceiling. They just kind of blow it out, but it looks very cool. It looks better than the very first version you did.
Oh, thank you.
So
yeah, I changed the scales around the face because before I don't know, I had it kind of like a little more like maybe it was a turtle that had tribal tattoos maybe. So I wanted to look more like an actual turtle. So that's what I'm doing. And tomorrow I think I'm gonna finish out the whole back and everything, and then I can flip it, and then I can do the bottom.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's getting
awesome.
really close to being done, guys. Yay! Oh, is there anything you need to read or anything?
No. People are just tuning in.
Okay, cool. Well, so tonight's a little bit different, guys, and this is kind of a stream where I know it's not going to be everybody's jam. It's not going to be everybody what a lot of people are interested in, but it's something that we're asked about a lot. We get a lot of emails about this, and people and artists that we meet ask about making art prints. So I know for a lot of people, it's not the same as just like me just painting and talking but it's something, that I always say like, oh yeah, we're going to get to it and we'll do it. So we just wanted to talk about making art prints because it is so super important. It is just, it makes a huge difference in a person's art career. And, in the bridge of going from like an artist where you're doing things, you're making things, and then being able to have prints that are available can be kind of a big jump for people, because there's a lot of steps that are involved with it, and plus the prints that you make, you don't want them to be low quality. Like you don't want people to judge your artwork because as being poor or inferior or low quality, because the print that you give them, like it yellows, it goes bad, it's out of focus, the colors aren't true, all this stuff, and they're like, ugh, that's not great. So they think maybe your painting's not great or your art's not great. And where the original is amazing, and it just doesn't reflect. But if you can get a good quality print, it's just you could do a painting now, and you could still be getting money from that painting 10 years from now, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, I highly recommend getting all of that together. I mean, it's one thing to be super passionate about your art, and you have to be that, and you can't not be that. But then you have got to set aside some time to like really concern yourself with like the business end of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be in that whole like famine stage of the feast or famine for a long time.
And honestly, one of the things I like about it too is that it lets you be able to do more types of things than you would normally be able to do. Like there's some speaking gigs that I've been able to do, but they where it may be for a nonprofit or a charity, and they can't maybe pay as much, or they can't pay enough. Gosh, it feels so weird. I gotta say, I feel very awkward talking about money when it comes to art, because money is not the first thing that I think about when it comes to art. It's usually the very last thing. But then again, you also have a family, and you also want to make art, so you got to pay your bills. So this is kind of so it's a weird, awkward discussion for me when I'm talking about money, but when it comes to prints, you're diversifying like your art a little bit. So it means that you can go do shows. You might be able to do events that you normally wouldn't be able to do, because there's other ways for you to be able to make money from that. So there might be an event that you really, really want to do, but they can't really afford to pay you to be there. But you can't afford not to be paid because
that's your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's your you've got to you legitimately got to pay your bills and stuff. and if you can't make some money from that, then you've got to do another gig that you might be offered that will pay the money, but you really love that event, so you want to do it anyway. So long story to just say, there's a lot of events where you go to and you might not be able to sell originals. Like people may not have the money to be able to purchase a big ticket item like that, but you might sell more prints than if you sold an original or two originals even, and or who knows, it can be surprising how much prints can actually bring in, So it makes it where you can go do these events that you really want to do, and suddenly you're being paid for it.
Yeah, there's always like some sort of angle you can kind of grab in order to make it. Well, hopefully there's always an angle you can kind of grab to like make it financially sound. Hopefully, but let me say like for some reason my computer wasn't updating fast enough, so we have some comments like quite a few that I have to go through really fast. So Barbara Brands joins us and says, "Hey, you two fabulous peeps! So glad to see you. My posse."
Barbara.
My posse has really been burning up the airwaves, talking up your mural in Denton. So thanks for passing on the word.
Thank you, Barbara.
And if they
awesome.
if they see it in person, tell them to post in hashtag or send a pic. That's always awesome to see people checking out the art. That's really great.
That is cool.
And Nancy Crouch joins us and says, "We're so excited to have the turtle in Palm Coast. Hope you all can join us for her debut to our community." So
Nancy, thank you so much. I've been having so much fun working on this. It's been incredible. I've been talking to so many people about it, and every artist talk, anything that I do, I talk about the turtle.
They're like, the what?
and I talk about it going out there, and about why it's going out there, and about what's going on with that, and it's been really, really cool. And the reception that we've had on this end is just phenomenal. It really is. It's just, I don't know, it's really cool. And then also the ability that it's a 3D piece of art. So so it's, I don't know, I love the idea that you can actually touch it. You can feel the grooves of the different scales. I want to say shells, I swear my brain. But of the different scales, like where the eye is, you can actually feel it. So, it's a piece of art that is just made for everyone. If it's somebody that's non-visual, somebody that's visual, I just love it.
I know, I can't wait.
Having a good time.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it like on its pedestal and installed and everything. That's going to be, and to get, the feedback from the sponsors, like see if they love it, and I believe it's going to go out in front of their building. So I'm really excited to get to see their reaction.
Yeah, I would love to
hear about the reaction.
Yeah.
So Ron Captain joins us, says, "Hey guys."
Hey Ron.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Brooke says, "Love you guys," and then says, "Oh yeah, my date says he will help with whatever with the AC," which I was talking to him for a while at the table, and he's the person that installs AC on new houses. He doesn't necessarily repair them. Oh. But he said any questions we had, he would be happy to answer.
Well, you know what I really need is somebody to with a big palm frond. And I need somebody else to feed me grapes, and then I think I'll be good. Like, I'll be golden.
That's your job for me.
Okay, we need 2 people with palm fronds.
Yeah. Yes.
No, that's really nice.
Yes, tell them
thank them from us, Brooke. I appreciate that.
Nancy joins us, says, hey, it's 90 degrees in Colorado.
Man, you must be
Which is why we did not run today, and I don't know if we're running tomorrow because it is just hot.
But we did get the air working in here, which you may not have heard, Nancy, but we have to go start it like it's a World War II bomber or
the propeller system.
Yeah, propeller system. We got to go there and crank it. But so it's kind of working.
And then Nancy says she's with you. Cool is the best. She prefers it cold.
Heck yeah.
And Brooke says it's 100 and it isn't August, so it's only going to get worse, I assume. And then Sherry joins us, says, "Hello, my friends. Love you both."
Hey, Sherry.
I know. I need to connect with you, girl. And Fred says, "I'm getting married this weekend, and it's supposed to be 101 in Nevada." Well, congratulations.
Wow. Congratulations. That's amazing, man. Well,
that's super exciting.
Man.
It doesn't have to be a Star Trek wedding at, any, Vegas hotels like ours. But that's exciting. Congratulations.
That's brilliant.
How cool.
Man. Well,
and I hope you guys stay, cool.
Yeah. Well,
goodness.
Yeah, and let us know how it went. Gosh, I hope you have a blast. That sounds brilliant.
Yeah. Well, and Brooke says, "Get help from her friend for real," to really call him. And then Fred said, "Do swamp coolers work out there?"
Kind of, sort of, but not really. Sort of. We do have one. And the first night, we are in our bedroom. We have French doors that open up outside. So, and we have a swamp cooler for outside, but it's so humid here that it doesn't work as well as it would in a drier environment. But it does help. It drops at about 10 degrees, I'd say.
I mean,
maybe. And it feels really great. Like oh my goodness, outside it's nice.
Yeah, I would say if you're in a place like Nevada or here, you need one. You just need one because it'll at least extend the time you can go outside by probably a good month.
Yeah.
I think. So, and I'm not always like I'm always like down on the weather here in Texas. So I was pleasantly surprised that all of a sudden it buys us another like month on the front end or back end of being outside. So that's nice.
Oh, and I know we're supposed to be talking about Prince, but I've got to tell you a life hack for living in Texas I found out last year. And it includes evaporative cooler. We finally got one for outside because Jackie's brother, Andy, got an evaporative cooler. My mom and dad got one for their porch. And I always held off because I always thought, I don't know if it really works. And it was so nice. It was so great. We got one. And then we ended up getting like a hot tub a couple years ago or something. I have arthritis everywhere, and I just like in the mornings anyway, it was a therapeutic hot tub sort of thing. But it's awesome. But here's the life hack. It makes me. It's like if you I don't know, anyway. I have to say if you have arthritis, holy moly,
get a hot tub.
Yeah, like it like you can move around. You feel. I feel like I'm 80 again. I don't know. Instead of 110. But no, but it does help quite a bit. But in the summer, you can reduce it down to 98, 99 degrees, like to body temperature. So you get in and it's warm. But then when you get out, but it's not hot. Then you get out and you're wet and all. But you walk around and it just feels so cool. You get in front of a evaporative cooler. And it turns August in Texas, which is normally just almost insufferable unless you're literally in the water skiing or something with wind blowing on you. It makes it nice. It's just so nice. Like last summer was the best summer I've had in Texas since I was a little kid.
It is a bit counterintuitive too because I didn't buy it until I tried it and I was like, oh, okay, that is nicer.
Yeah, it's crazy. So. It's a crazy. That's what I was
Fred said, what a milestone to have a cake of yourself. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
It is a big moment. It's going to go on the Vita for sure.
I had a show where I had a cookie of myself, I think, once.
Well, you did. Yeah, you did. You had an art show where they had a cookie of you. And then we were doing an art festival and somebody actually brought cookies of your paintings to the festival.
Oh,
that was really cool. That was
cool.
a lot of fun.
That's right. That was really cool.
Well, and Sherry says hello to both of you. Heart.
No, heart back.
Heart back. And
does it look like balls?
No.
Okay.
No, it's actual heart.
Is that an okay story to tell? That's not a bad story, right? It's not like the Barbie and the G.I. Joe story.
Sure.
Yeah. Whenever Jackie, whenever she played roller derby, people on her team would say they would send the heart emoji, but for me on my screen reader, it doesn't tell you the emoji. It just tells you the characters that you make the emoji with. So like if it's a smiley face, it'd be like a colon, right parentheses or whatever, So it'll say colon parentheses, and I know they're smiling, and then or they're it's semicolon parentheses, it's like a wink or something like that. But for the heart, I forget what it is. Gosh, what?
It's a 3 with like a greater than symbol.
Yeah, 3, and but it was like it was. Oh gosh, this is bad. I don't know if I can sell it.
What? It looked.
Well, I thought it. Yeah.
You should also say that it's roller derby, so we're all like very crass females that just talk to each other, and so we don't have a filter. So
there was something where somebody said like balls or something, and then they did that like heart, like just kidding, and I thought because of the way it looked with the 3 and all that, I thought it must be like the emoji for balls. So I thought for the longest I thought that was like balls. So somebody would say like, hey John, it was great to see you last night. Balls. I'm like, what does that mean? That's weird. Or like, John's the greatest guy. Balls. I just thought people had the weirdest.
It's just a roller derby thing.
But then it got out because then I told people that finally it got out that because I'm crazy and I don't know what's going on. I'm like the Mr. Magoo, I guess. And so. And then they found out, how that's hilarious. So then people just started saying that to each other. Like it became a thing there for the derby where people like, see you later, balls. So balls just became a thing. But anyway.
It was pretty funny.
I just slightly embarrassed myself a little bit. Anyway.
Well, Brooke said it was so good, speaking of the art at the place. And then Fred said it was cool to see all of the artists. And Ramen has joined us and says, hello, loves. It was so great to see you on Thursday evening. So I'm just happy that you're feeling well enough to type. So
yeah,
I talked to Amanda Lee and she said you were doing well. And so I hope you mend quickly.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And it was so good to see you guys. And I'm a little jealous of your dog. It eats better than we do, I think.
I know,
Gosh.
right?
And it was something. Ice cream and it was like
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry. Anyway, okay, so the whole point of tonight's show, and well, now that we're 30 minutes in, was to talk about the prints, and I am the person that kind of puts them together. So I can kind of give you guys the inside scoop. If you're an artist and you're looking to mass sell your art, this is a good way to get into it. And it actually came up at the murals because Chelsea came up to me and we were talking about it, and I was like, girl, you got to get on this, because I mean, well, all the artists have fantastic work, but
oh yeah, her work would work really well.
Yeah, and really it is, again, like a great way, because as a painter you only have one original, so the only way to really make money over time is to sell prints. So we have multiple ways that we do prints. We offer them as like paper prints and mats, and then we offer them as limited editions. The matted prints look like this, the one I showed you guys earlier. So it's inside a mat, and this, obviously the image is right there. But what makes this like cost effective is that you can go on Amazon and you can buy in bulk these mats, and it comes with the mat board, the backing board, and then the plastic sleeve that it goes in. And then what you have to do is go to a nice print shop that does really great quality prints, and just make sure you get it to the size of the mat that you bought, and it's all standard. So like, for example, this is 11 by 14 with an 8 by 10 window, and so if so anybody can go to Michael's and get an 11 by 14 frame. So, and we do 16 by 20s, 11 by 14s, and 5 by 7s.
Well, Jackie, I have a question. Okay, so
yeah,
if I've never done prints before and I was gonna do it for the first time, how would you recommend me getting an image for that? But I mean,
of your work?
It's like you have the. It seems like that's one of the hardest things, like, to do at the beginning. Like, 'cause you need that really good image.
Yeah.
Once you have the image, then you can change your printing style up and do different things. But so is there something that you could recommend to people?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's probably the trickiest part is photographing your art. And really, rule of thumb is that you want a well-lit situation. Like if you have box lights or some sort of like lighting source, 2 of them that are equal strengths at 45 degrees angles going in, and then your camera's right in front of it, and that will hopefully evenly light it. Another way to do it is to take it outside on like a somewhat cloudy day, so that there's not like sun, shadows and all this craziness on it, and shoot it that way. That's actually what I prefer, because I can go in and easily like correct the tone of shade, which kind of leaves it this blue tone. But that is, I would definitely suggest watching some YouTube videos or Googling it, because that is the hardest part, is getting like a really good quality. You want to make sure that you've got enough DPI to blow it up as big as you need to blow it up and all that. So Google that or YouTube it, and just make sure your light source is even. If your work is glossy, if it tends to be glossy, wow, it's a bit of an uphill battle.
Well, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really don't know.
You're gonna just set me up.
Yeah. So for someone to get a good image of that, do you think an iPhone would work, like or like the Android phone, or do you need like a
They will
like a really nice camera? Like does somebody need a camera that costs like a ton of money, or to have a friend, or to be able to hire a photographer, or Or would an iPhone work?
Well, I mean,
I know it depends on the painting and how big it is, probably.
It does. And you really could. Nowadays, phones are ridiculously high res. That you can actually get a pretty decent quality photo and blow it up relatively big on a phone. You can do that. The trick is that you need to go into your phone settings and make sure that you're taking a high quality one, because sometimes like the iPhone takes a totally different format than JPEG, so that it can take more photos for the space on your phone. So you've got to go through your phone settings, make sure you're taking the biggest quality photo you can, but you can get away with that. Now, if you're like diehard, the absolute best way to get an image of your art is to take it to like a place like Thomas Reaper Graphics and have them do a thing called a cruise scan, which is when they send it through this bed, and they just slowly like scan it, and it is jaw-dropping how gorgeous that image is.
Yeah, if it has like texture and 3D elements, all that looks 3D in the image is so good.
Yeah.
But it's also it's the most expensive route too, but once you have that image, you have that image for the rest of your life. I mean, it's you can make prints on it 50 years from now, and it's a perfect image, which is something to think about. I mean, if it's if it's an image that you're really proud of, and because it's a shame once you sell an original and you don't have a good image of it, and then later on, and you it's really hard in the beginning because money is tight, and you never want to spend more money than you need to, and you're always wondering, like, well, good grief, is it worth spending all this money for this, or to do this, or to put the time and effort in it? But if art is a big part of what you do and what you want to do, then you having those records is really important. But also, I would say, like, don't stress too much. I mean,
I mean. I would just make sure that you're even lighting, you're getting a high enough resolution photo, and you can take it into Photoshop and you can kind of blow it up and just get like some test prints done, and if you're not happy with the quality, then reshoot it, or get a friend or something that'll do that. But let me say, Nancy says, we just unveiled a turtle this past Saturday.
Ooh.
And the hype of the sea turtle is growing, and people can't wait to see what you do.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So
well,
I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it. I don't know. I've put so much thought into this, and it's kind of morphed a little bit, as because once you actually get on the, it's like a mural. Once you actually get on the bricks, you get on the wall or wherever it is that you're doing it.
Yeah.
It changes a little bit because of the surface and all. So the surface of this is actually, I don't know, it's lent itself to, I don't know, to make some changes.
Mm-hmm.
but they're all because, like, oh man, this would be so much better, it'd be so much cooler if I did this and with it, and so it's taking longer than what I thought. But that's one of those things, is that in the studio I scheduled the time so that I could put all the time that I wanted into it, so it wasn't like, I mean, I don't know, this is kind of like a what do you call, like a work of passion in a way.
Yeah, it's
it's like
definitely.
It's something that I don't really care how much time I put into it, like I'm putting a lot of time, but it's because I don't know, like it's something that you keep saying too. You're like, oh, we'll schedule whatever time we need because, like, it's going to be out in public, it's going to be out there, and it's going to be something that lives there, and it's, I don't know, that's really important. I think that's really cool, and so so I'm hopefully.
Well, hey, do you have the Stream Deck by you?
I do.
I think you hit the hearts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I've been showered in hearts for the last
I'm sorry. Is it off now?
minutes.
Is it off now?
Yeah.
Here.
There you go.
Here, I'll punish myself with a little flame. No, sorry. Sorry, guys. I just love everything so much, guys. I'm just full of love tonight.
Well, Mike asked, "What's wrong with your air conditioning?"
Oh, it hates us.
Oh God, us no.
It's a teenager. It's just being a rowdy teenager.
Yeah, it's old, but I think it's the motor and the fan. You think that might be it?
Yeah, we think it's. And the guy came out and he looked at it and he said, it's old. You should replace the whole thing. And we thought, yeah, you're probably right. And then he did some things to it. When he left, it started working It started working again. It's like, well, gosh, it's working. What the heck's going on? And So I went out to it today, and it was just making like that groaning sound, like a motor that doesn't want to turn.
Yeah.
And so I turned the fan a little bit, and the fan went on, and it's working again. So it's like, I think it's just the motor and the fan, but we're gonna have somebody else come out tomorrow or sometime.
Yeah. I mean, it is 17 years old, but
if we have to replace it, we will. But it's just, I think we've had this motor replaced before, and I think the guy he couldn't get the original motor that went into it because it was it was old.
Yeah.
So he used an aftermarket motor to replace on the fan. And I think it's just that motor that went out again. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's just
So that
it's just one of the. But it's
the story.
But we're fortunate though because the studio is good.
Yeah, we got a window unit in here, so like this is the house now.
Yeah, and
this is where we live.
We own a lot of shorts and stuff, so we're doing good. It's just.
Well, Kim joins us, says hello.
Hey, Kim.
Thanks for tuning in. And it says a heart was originally a butt. At least according to Amy on The Big Bang Theory. That's funny. I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. That's one thing. I love The Big Bang Theory. We've been watching again a little bit. And
yes.
I know a lot of the dialogue.
Fred says, referring to like the lighting of your photos, Fred said clouds, the natural diffuser. And then he says, I never collected art till I found John's website. Oh, that's nice.
Well, thank you, Fred.
Thanks, that's sweet. And then he says, collecting art is like collecting vinyl records for me. I just like to hold it in my hands. Yeah, so that's awesome.
I know what you mean. I'm the same way. I don't collect a lot of art, but the art that I collect, it's almost like a new member of the family, and have it forever. And and there's always a story with it. And and it's I don't know, it's nice whenever people come in the house, say, oh yeah, let me tell you about this artist or about this piece, and it's cool.
And Fred says, speaking of the hearts, he said, I thought I was tripping. And then Claire joins us, says, haha, I thought it was first I thought at first people kept sending you guys hearts. And then Mike said bad capacitor, maybe that's what it is.
Oh,
you are an expert on it, so
yeah, gosh,
I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to get a second opinion because I can't wrap my head around the idea of installing a completely new system. I'm just awestruck at the price of that. It's bonkers.
Although I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind a system that hooks to Alexa, because I want my second wife to be able to tell me the temperature of the house and to be able to set it.
Slowly being replaced.
Dearie, can you set the temperature? No, but what we have now is it's the old manual kind.
Yeah.
But I can't read it, so whenever, and for some reason I'm the person that handles the air conditioner.
Yeah, you are.
Which is funny because I'm the one person in the house that can't read it or know what it's set on or what the temperature is, because it's the old analog. And so I'll get the little switch, and I'll kind of brace myself, and I'll like push on it, and then I'll try to nudge it just a little bit. But sometimes it goes too far, and then I don't know where it was to begin with, so I'll go back the other way, and I'm like, oh, that went really far. Oh, this went really far. Like, oh, I don't.
It's fun.
And you're like, hey, did you turn the heat up? And I'm like, maybe.
Well, Fred said the hamsters quit running. So, yeah, all of them, unfortunately. And Mike said age has nothing to do with it if the compressor is working.
Oh.
So this is the
I'm with Mike on this one.
Yeah, I would like to not have to replace the entire unit, but the guy did say, of course he prefaces it with like it's 17 years old, and then he's like, well, you got leaks and over time, and so the compressor's like a piston in a car, and it's not, compressing very well, and so that's why it's just not pumping enough cool air into the house. So like he took the measurement out of the vent, and it was like 64 degrees, and he was like, I was hoping it was 55 or something.
But also the fan just wasn't working.
Yeah.
I mean, he never mentioned anything about the fan not working or anything like that. It's like when the fan works, everything is like it. I mean, we have to turn it down because it gets cold. Like it gets too cold in there. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems a little.
It's crazy.
It seems.
Like we should get a second opinion.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like I don't think the guy is completely full of beans, but I think there might be some beans.
You think there's beans?
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, okay, so, so with the prints,
sorry, I'm the worst. I get us off and like, hey guys, look, I'm doing it again.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel.
Anyway, so again, Amazon, just get a really good image of your art, get help getting it printed, go someplace that they'll work with you, they'll let you do test prints, and then Amazon, you can bulk buy these mats, so you do have to get your art to a standard sort of size, and sometimes that's a bit of an issue with John's work, but it is what it is. And then you can just kind of like factory line doing this. Oh, also on the inside, when you tape down the art, you want to use acid-free tape. Don't use like masking tape or scotch tape or anything like that. You want to use acid-free tape so it doesn't eventually yellow or tarnish the print inside.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like we try to use the highest quality materials with our prints. So even like a $10 print that somebody bought, 15 years ago, they should look the same as they did 15 years ago. And so like we use acid-free mats, acid-free paper, acid-free tape. Everything should be. The only thing that we can't control is the sunlight hitting it. But as long as somebody doesn't put it right in the sun, then the UV shouldn't be but even the printing we do, we try we go to a place they do really nice prints. So and that's one of the things I think is kind of important, because if your prints, if somebody buys it and then 5 years later they're yellowed, I don't know.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, I know for some things it's okay, but
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want that.
So Mike says get a rod to spin the fan motor and it will run.
Yes. Well, I use
is that you with a stick out every 4 hours to? Well,
yeah. So like if I went in there because it smelled a little funny, I thought I know what the motor's not spinning. So I stuck a stick in between the grate, and I found the fan blades, and I barely touched it, and it started. I could hear it going a little bit. So I just let it go, and then. And then it went up, and sure enough, that was it. Cause he wasn't out there any time, really.
Yeah, it was here, crazy fast.
He didn't take anything apart or didn't do anything, but when he left, it was working. So I think he spun the fan up, but he never told us about the fan.
Yeah, I wonder.
But when he left, the air started working.
Yeah, and he never told us how he got it working.
Yeah, and he just said that our compressor was bad. Everything needed to be replaced, and he might not be wrong.
Yeah,
but he might not be right.
It's a thing. Know. Anyway, okay, so those are like paper prints that we sell.
Paper.
Hey, AC is important, man.
Yeah, it is.
So those are nice because those are a little bit on the lower expense end, and you want to try to hit multiple markets of people that and what they were looking for when they collect their art. So the other thing that we sell is limited edition prints, which are these. Okay. So these are basically they're printed on it's the image of the painting, and it's printed on canvas, and then it has a protectant layer that they put over it, and it's gallery wrapped, so it looks kind of similar to a painting that would hang on the wall, and it's got these hooks on the back, and it's got a dust jacket and all that fun stuff, so it's like ready to hang. Now, how we do this is a professional company does these, and we send the image off to get it done, and then they either send it to us or they'll send it directly to the customer, depending on what we've worked out. But we only print 100 of those, so they're a limited run, which makes them worth more over time. So that a lot of people like that if they can't necessarily afford the original, but they want like a substantial, cool looking piece of art in their house. So that works really well, and that's even easier than the prints, because a whole other company handles that, and you just upload the image. So
and they are cool. Like they're like with those, they're as close as you can get to the original without being the original. And a lot of times we'll have that next to an original, and it's hard to tell which one is which. Yeah. Unless the original has a lot of texture on it, and then then it's obvious. The one with the giant texture coming off of it is the original, but
right.
But the other one has with the photography, it still has some texture in it, but
it's a bit tricky. You have some paintings like Grin that you have big whips of white paint, and so you can kind of see the shadows, or like you can kind of see the thickness, but there's a reason why you spend money on an original, is that thickness, that visceral sort of feel to it. So you get what you get.
But it's nice though. So from an artist standpoint, if you're an artist and you're wanting to sell your artwork, it's really good to think about price points. Like So and to bring work at a show or a place that is appropriate for the price points. Like if we're doing a show, and we've done a lot of shows in California, and we bring things for a price point for people who are willing to spend more money, because like if you're doing a show like in Santa Barbara, it's different than if you're doing a show maybe it's I don't know, somewhere else. It's not Santa Barbara.
Right. I mean, if it's California, it's a whole nother.
Yeah. If it is in New York City or California,
and it's a totally different product. So it's for example, it's more expensive to get your work printed on acrylic or metal, and that is actually the work that we send off to Santa Barbara is acrylic prints or metal prints, specifically to the winery that we work with or whatever. But so it just depends on your market, what those people really are looking for, and you just kind of got to feel it out. Now, I will say that none of this really matters if you don't have a website to sell it on.
Oh, that's a good point. Ooh, nice transition over to that. That's good.
You like that?
Yeah, slick.
So what you need to do, and I'm not a fan of Etsy. I mean, I like to peruse Etsy and shop there. Some of it, there's just so much on Etsy that I feel like it gets lost, and I feel like Etsy takes too much in fees. So we never really used Etsy. We use Shopify, which if you just go kind of through their account and see, kind of what works for you, you don't have to pay an astronomical amount every month to have a website through them. But they have it's a shop, so it's not just this sort of WordPress, you throw it together and you hope it works. It's an actual shop. So you just want to make sure that you'll spend some good time figuring out your website and putting your images up and all of that, but believe me, over time it will pay off greatly. And especially if you have some social media that goes slightly viral, or a news article or something about you, or you take on a big job and there's some press about it, having that already set up, you'll overnight you'll be like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I have that, because all of a sudden orders come in and you're like, hey, bam, that's how you do it.
Yeah, and I should probably say too, if you don't want to do, I'm sorry, hit the mic, guys, sorry about that. If you don't want to do prints, I wouldn't worry about that either. I mean, there's a lot of artists, if you go to their webpage, it'll say I'm an artist, they'll have a bio with a little bit of something, and they'll have prints. They won't have prints, they'll have originals, they won't have any prices, they won't have anything, really. It's very little, and it's almost hard to find a contact information. Well, how do I, who are you, what's your name, and what's going on here? And to the point where it's almost like a speakeasy, where is there a password I need to know to be able to, talk, to get some info? But that's nice, and that's kind of more hoity-toity, I should say. But I don't know. I don't for me, that I don't really enjoy those. If I go to a gallery, I don't enjoy going into those galleries as much. I like the artwork, I like it all, but the experience isn't enjoyable for me. I like going into a place where I can talk to the artist and I feel welcome and everything's warm and they're, so that's what I like. So on the website, that's sort of what we do. We have videos about, saying every aspect about how I paint, or everything, to the nth degree. There's documentaries about it, everything that we can put out there. And that's just my style. That's the way that, I feel like, so for and having prints and being able to get the artwork more out there, all of that, for me, that just makes sense for the way that I do everything in art.
Yeah.
But for you, it may not be in there. And I'm definitely not saying anything negative. If that's the way it works for you, for a lot of artists, that works great for them, and that works and that makes sense. And that hoity-toity sort of thing is...
and everybody does it different, and it could just go along with, how much time you have to devote to it. You can't just drop everything and start an art career and still pay your bills if it doesn't get off the ground quick.
We've shown in hoity-toity galleries and all, and it's been, nice.
Yeah,
it's it's nice and it's cool, but generally it's because they'll also do a workshop with the...
Yeah.
So if we're gonna be in a hoity-toity gallery, they're gonna have to be doing something. They're gonna have to do a workshop with a school or something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Barbara says, I want the new image, the one that you used for the mural. I'm in love with it.
Oh.
So thank you. That's.
Thank you so much,
Barbara. It's called
Reflections
of Jazz.
Well, thank you so much for liking that, Barbara.
And then Mike says, sounds like a bad capacitor. So we'll have to pass that on to the second opinion guy.
Yeah.
And see. Thank you for all the help and input, because my gosh.
What?
It is expensive.
That's what I'm just saying. What happened?
Well, now? It's Texas. I get it. It's AC. It's the next to the wheel. It's probably the most important invention, but goodness gracious, you know,
Yeah.
there's a reason why they can charge you as much as they want to charge you.
This is true. But on the bright news, Jack is about to finish up homeschool.
Yeah.
8th grade is going to be completely different for him. We're not sure what it's going to look like, but he's still going to be homeschooled next year.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to figure that out, and we're going to mix it up a little bit. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, Fred says, when I make music, the CD companies try to talk you out of making prints. And wait. When I make music, the CD companies try to talk you out of making prints and just do downloads. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
He says, I hate that. I'm glad we can't download prints of art yet.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's interesting because, I mean, there are definite situations where the art will get pirated, and
Yeah.
now with the whole like NFT explosion with the digital
Yeah.
piece of art that
That's
can
interesting.
sell, gosh, at this point,
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what
yeah,
it's going to be like?
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, and then Mike says, text me before you do anything. So thank you, I appreciate that. We'll let you know what he says. That'll be interesting to hear.
Oh, thanks so much,
the
Mike.
second guy says
I
thank you.
appreciate that. And was there anything more about the prints?
I don't think so. I mean, like, we definitely glossed over it. I mean, that's the most important bits. And outside of like bulk buying the mats, do some research. We use Shopify for our website, but and then the company that does our limiteds is CG Pro Prints. We really like them. So
yeah, and we use a local printer for our matted prints.
yeah. So and everybody, you can go to like a Thomas Reaper Graphics or an Alpha Graphics or any of those places. They do stuff like that. But if you have like more specific questions or you want a bit more information, don't hesitate to email or and we can do more in depth, actually pulling the mats apart and show you how we do everything at some point for a different show, because I know it's not everybody's bag. But
I feel like I was being too negative on the hoity-toity galleries. I feel bad about that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
they have it's a thing. I get it. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's awesome, and we've worked with a number, and it's always been a really great. It's always been great.
Yeah.
It's been really good. It's just that I don't know. I'm not one of those people that wear like a suit and tie to work, and like I don't feel that.
I feel like the problem with that style gallery is that the artist tends to be detached from the experience.
Yeah.
And so, like, and we're not, that's not how we roll at all. Like, you do workshops, you're at every show. I mean, like, you're very hands-on. I mean, we do this every week. So it doesn't, I mean, I would think that would be beneficial, but sometimes those galleries prefer their person in the front to handle the sales and do all of that. And
that's fine. I don't mind that. Like, I don't need to touch.
I know, but I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like
I like to meet people.
Yeah, and I feel like on some level, that style of gallery removes the artist a bit. So I don't know, but to each their own.
Yeah.
It's
but
cool.
I will put on a I've been giving lots of talks, and I'll wear a tie and put on a. I mean, I'm not a caveman. I'm not a barbarian. I will dress up.
Well, Mike says I will be in Dallas Friday night until Sunday morning. So thank you. I'll let you know what he says. I'm hoping we left a message, so I'm hoping the guy will come out and look at it tomorrow, and then I'll text you and be like, well, does that even sound right? So appreciate that tremendously. It's like a huge help. And then Kim says, thank you for the print info. So absolutely, if anybody out there, if you guys need more information on them or want to go more in depth, don't hesitate to shoot an email, and we'll do a separate video about it that actually shows some different things with links and all that.
Yeah, guys, and and then next week I'll be painting something, so it'll be I want to get back to where I'm painting and I'm showing like what I'm doing and talking about that kind of stuff. But
maybe we'll do trivia.
Ooh.
Test your brain.
Oh boy. But thank you guys though for being here for this.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate the support. Thanks, Mike, for offering your expertise on the AC. That is huge. And everybody that watches, be sure to like, subscribe, share us with your friends, all that fun stuff. And if you have any questions, bramblet@gmail.com.
Yeah, ooh, I like the way you said that.
Bom, bom,
That sounded really professional, didn't it, guys?
This
That
is not
sounded
my
too good for
this
what.
is
For
not
what
my first rodeo.
well, you sounded too good for what it is that we do.
Yeah, don't want to get the standard too high.
Yeah.
We'll look
don't expect
ridiculous
too
next
much,
week.
guys. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks.